Alright, we are at Grandfather Mountain in West North Carolina. We're about to try the Grandfather Trail. It is an extremely windy day today. We're heading up, hopefully as far as Callaway. Just a little shy of 5 miles around the trip, so distance-wise not too much. Conditions here pretty tough today. In late June. And this is supposed to be a fun but very difficult hike. A lot of scrambling and ladders and cables and stuff. So we'll go up a little ways and see what it's like and see whether it's going to be safe to get up here today. Okay, so we're out of the wind, at least for the moment. I believe there are some pretty exposed areas on this trail, so we'll just have to see what it's like when we get up there. So some background. So this is Grandfather Mountain, western North Carolina. Very pretty drive to get here. We took the Blue Ridge Parkway. It's about 30 minutes or so from the town of Boone, which is the biggest burg around these parts. Grandfather Mountain is apparently private property, so you actually have to pay an admission fee to get in here. The fee varies, I think, for adults from $20 to about $25, depending on the day of the week and the season of the year. So I think with a AAA discount, it was $22 for me today. This, I think, is one of the main attractions, this trail, because of how difficult it's supposed to be and challenging. There's also a swinging bridge, which is up here, which we walked across earlier, which was fun. A little extra degree of difficulty because of the wind today. And there are other trails up here, as well as some kind of zoo or animal preserve, anyway. So anyway, as long as we're down here, not on an exposed ridge, very doable, but looks like ridge is up ahead. So we'll just keep going and see what it's like. Okay, here's the first ladder section we've come to. We've got a couple of cable sections where there's rock and you have a cable connected to the rock so that you can hold on to that as you go up. Well, this is the first ladder. It looks relatively straightforward. This angle looks pretty steep, but it doesn't look like anything. It's not doable. We're about 2/10 of a mile from the first peak, which is McCrae Peak. And then it's a mile and a half after that to Callaway Peak, which is our turnaround point. So we're probably about 7/10 of a mile into the hike. Relatively straightforward so far. Rocky, but you know, not too bad so far. So we're gonna scramble up this ladder and keep heading up. Okay, looks like we're just about to McCrae Peak. This ladder says McCrae Peak, 5,844 feet. So I'm assuming that's right at the top of this ladder. Let's go up and check it out. So we're making our way up Callaway Peak. We got maybe 2-3 of a mile to go, I think. Terrain has definitely changed. This section of the trail's been wet and muddy, and now we get into this kind of rainforesty type section. Is pretty, and it's, you know, it's fairly easy hiking. Definitely sheltered from the wind in here. But so far I haven't come across anything on this hike that made me say, wow, this is unbelievably difficult. There have definitely been some tough sections, and you know, the ladders are something you don't see on a lot of hikes, so that's different, something to get accustomed to. And if you don't like ladders, then this is not going to be the hike for you. And there's definitely been some rock scrambling. It's slow going. I'm gonna, I think, hit the turnaround point probably at about the 2-hour mark. So 2.4 miles in 2 hours is not exactly an Olympic pace. So it's a slow, deliberate hike. Well, it's been a good hike. As we get up here, there are alternate trails to get up here, I guess, but the trail I'm on is a point-to-point, so when I get to Callaway Peak, I'll just turn around and retrace my steps. I haven't measured the elevation change, but I don't think it's been all that significant because there've been as many downs as there have been ups, it feels like. So it's nothing that I think a average hiker, a person in good shape can't do. It kind of reminds me of Odrag in Shenandoah National Park, which I hiked a couple months ago. The differences are it's not nearly as long, it's not nearly as steep, but they both have a lot of rock scrambling. This one has ladders, which Odrag did not. There are some cable sections here. Nothing like, you know, if you've ever been to Half Dome or Angel's Landing, I mean, those are, you know, that's some pretty serious cable sections. These are short cable sections, but they come in handy on some of these rocks. But as you can see, we're a 1/10 of a mile from the peak, so we're gonna head up there, knock this one out. We'll see you at the top. Okay, X marks the spot. Callaway Peak. You can see off in that cloud there is McCrae Peak, the first peak we came to. Limited visibility up here today. What you can see, pretty spectacular here. Blue Ridge Mountains, who knew? Really pretty up here. Not as windy as it was at the start of the hike when I was in the parking lot heading up here. It was blowing me sideways. That's all I could do is stand up. Here, you can certainly hear the wind. Haven't been exposed to too much of it because, as I mentioned, the trail is mostly in the woods or in between boulders. But up here, you're a little more exposed, but it's not nearly as strong as it was down at the bottom. So hopefully that's going to clear out. Clouds will clear out. We'll have some better views here. But anyway, we're gonna have a little snack break and then head down. Unlike most hikes, they're usually up is the tough part. Here, you know, you're down climbing ladders and down climbing boulders, so that is at least as difficult, I think, as climbing up them. Sometimes more, depending on the distance. So we'll have an adventure on the way down, but really good hike so far. Okay, we're coming to the end of the hike here. So a few pointers, or you know, at least things maybe not to do. So it's June 27th. You know, it's gonna be 70-75 degrees today, so I'm in shorts. Most people I saw hiking were in long pants. I didn't get cold as much as, you know, there is a lot of rock scrambling, so pants might be a better idea for that. And I did manage to get a little dirty on this hike. So yeah, it depends on your preference there. I'm wearing trail runners like usual. I don't usually wear hiking boots. This might be a trail where you might think about hiking boots. I did slip a couple of times, and it is a little wet today as well, and so you get a little bigger sole, rubber sole on a hiking boot than you do on trail runners, so that might be something to consider. Yeah, dress for the weather up here. You know, it was not real cold on the peaks, but it was unbelievably cold in the parking lot. Now, as we come down, it looks much tamer down there now, but the wind was blowing so hard this morning about 9 o'clock that it was all you could do to stand up straight. And it was a cold wind as well, so I ended up buying a souvenir beanie, Grandfather Mountain beanie, which was put to good use, and had gloves in the pack, and they were also came in handy. So all in all, very good hike. I thought it was tougher coming down just because things are kind of slick, and you're down climbing ladders. So right at about just a little under 4 hours for the total hike today, 3:45 I think. So very good hike. You know, you read the descriptions and that might deter you. If you haven't been up here before, it'll at least make you think twice about it. But I didn't find it. You know, there wasn't any part of the hike where I thought, oh, we shouldn't be doing this. And I have been on some hikes like that. So, you know, it's a difficult hike, but certainly doable. A lot of people up here. So that's going to do it for this episode from Grandfather Mountain. Thanks for watching.